I really wanted to learn how to dive, and I never had the opportunities to when I was younger. I was always curious, like, how do they do that? From such great heights, and then do these flips and then land in the water. And when the show came along, and my manager's like, "Hey, do you want to do a diving show?" I'm like, "Yeah, why not?" and I went on it, learning the flips because we all just jumped on the trampolines. It was always fun, but to be able to actually do that with the water. You kind of just really kind of find your equilibrium in the air and to know when to extend full body. When I did it, I was like, I really want to learn how to do off the 10 meter, right?
Oh, man.
But I was so scared of heights. I'm scared of heights. And I was like, okay, and I'm not going to like force myself. I don't want to get hurt. But I started doing off the 3 meter springboard the whole time until the very end, though. The producers came up to me and said, hey, you know that 1.5 inverted dive on the 3 meters? Can you do that on the 10 meter? At the very end of the show, like for the grand finale, since you made it to the finals. And I was like, I'm not promising you, but I'll try, and that was kind of like the goal. And then the coaches were like, okay, cool. We'll practice on the 3 meter. And after we get the 3 meter, I was thinking I can try the 5 and the 7, the 10, right? After 3 meter, we go straight to the 10. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, you don't want to go 5 to 7 because, you might get scared halfway through and not want to do it. So we just got to 0 to 100 real quick. And I remember the day that I was trying to do it on the 10, I looked over the ledge and I was frozen. I was like, what am I doing up here? And I was just on my knees, like kind of against the rail, just in my head all the whole time. And then finally, all of a sudden, the phrase came to me. It was, fear is not from God. And then I just got up, I walked to the ledge, did this, and boom, and I just jumped, and I did it. And I was like, okay. And when I landed, it was one of the best feelings ever.
Nice.
Yeah. I got second place, though. I didn't get first because I messed up on the second dive. The first dive, I killed it on the 10 meter. But the second dive, I messed up a little bit.
Gotcha.
And interestingly enough, when they gave us the medals, the medal was made out of platinum, white gold. And then so it felt like God was giving me a nod to, like, even though you didn't get first, the material is worth more. Worth more than the gold part. There were so many testimonies in that show for myself, because there was literally, we only get 3 days to learn how to dive.
Oh my goodness.
Before each dive, we only get like three days, 2 days, and then 1 day rehearsal. Then you just go for it. And I remember the inverted 3 meter springboard one. That whole day I was doing legs and stuff. So when I did the dives, I kept messing up during rehearsal, and I was just freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna mess up, and I can't believe I'm gonna go home. And I remember during those shows, though, they were more. They didn't really care what I was doing, but I would literally be on my knees in a fetal position, praying to God, saying like, God, I just want to be able to do good. I want to be able to perform well. I just want to be able to nail this thing. And I remember trying to calm myself, because the whole time I was just, I'm not going to be able to land this thing.
Yeah.
And then I remember like, I felt God saying like, you got this, don't worry, kind of thing. And I was saying, but it's just me talking to myself. I'm like, all right, if I really got this, then what score am I going to get? Right? I don't even know why I said that. Before I even finished, the number 71 popped in my head. And then I said, all right, whatever. And then I do the dive, I land, I finish, I come back, and then they present the score, and it's 71.
That's crazy.
And some people will say, oh, you manifested it or not, but I'm talking to God, dude. I'm asking him. And when you can see the excitement in my face, because when it happened, I went back on the ground going like, same thing again. Just like, it's just all him, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, especially with reality TV shows, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know when they're going to try to flip the script on you, try to get a reaction out of you. But it's always just like, God, you're in the forefront of everything. And I just want to make sure I make you proud in everything I do. And kind of went like that. Because following years after that, every reality show that I did, you always kind of feel like the producers has a script of their own. Yeah. But they, you know what I'm saying, right? Know. Yeah. And it's so like, what's that word? It's so disappointing, because you work your butt off. Yeah. To try to get like a good result, and you have other people relying on you to share that same result, and everybody's working hard, but then they're like, oh, let's see what happens when this happens.
Yeah,
And
they're
then,
like, oh, your team won twice in a row, so you can't win the third one.
Yeah.
You gotta lose this one.
Yep.
Or like they'll be like there's one where I had to I was a coach.
Yeah.
I had to cut somebody, and they're like, no, don't cut him because like the fans think he's the cutest. So you have to keep him. And then and I was just like, dang, like it's a lot of it's scripted.
did
like,
you want to cut him because he was the cutest? Or
No.
he was taking too much of Jalen?
No, you're cuter than me. Cut. No.